Harley riders are notoriously loyal. One could say that they're almost loyal to a fault, but despite producing overpriced, underperforming motorcycles that offer poor value for money, impassioned Harley loyalists have long backed the bar and shield in face of opposition. Even if lately a lot of them have been ditching Harley for a variety of kinda stupid reasons. But today, we're gonna talk about why Harley riders in general usually are so loyal, and take a look at the current landscape where amidst changes in corporate policies and overseas manufacturers, longtime HD simps may finally begin changing their tunes. We got a lot to get into, let's get started. The first reason HD riders are so loyal is because of the heritage of the brand. Harley-Davidson is one of the longest running motorcycle manufacturers, with the earliest bikes dating back to over 100 years. You might have an 08 R6 in your garage, but some boomer bike collector has an 08 Harley-Davidson. A 1908, that is. A lot of Americans think fondly of old traditions, and Harley-Davidson is one of the few motorcycle companies that almost entirely based their brand identity and model lineup off of ideas and images of the past. They make an effort to produce motorcycles that harken back to the good old days when bikes were made by hand in a small factory in Milwaukee. Even when you buy a new Harley-Davidson, it feels like you own a piece of history and you're part of the company's legacy. Harley-Davidson could be considered the home team, as they were the only company to relatively consistently produce most of their motorcycles in America for a majority of their tenure. That has changed a little recently, as the models supporting the RevMax engines will now be produced solely in Thailand, but we will dive into that a little bit deeper later in the video. But since Harley-Davidson was always the motorcycling home team, they were also the motorcycles that were featured in movies and TV shows over the years. This routine presence in popular culture only helped solidify the heritage and legacy that HD riders are so dedicated to. Most of motorcycle manufacturers, despite making better motorcycles, have never been able to establish such a powerful cultural legacy. If you ride bikes, you have your affinities and preferences when it comes to motorcycles. Everyone has that one manufacturer they simp for, but really, none other than Harley have managed to be so recognizable and household name to non-riders. So before Joe, American husband and father of two, had even gotten a motorcycle endorsement, he's familiar with HD and partial to HD and understands HD. Joe doesn't want to ride a motorcycle, he wants to ride a Harley-Davidson. And that is a very important distinction that sets Harley riders apart from most other motorcyclists. They're not interested or passionate about motorcycles as a whole, they're interested in Harley-Davidson. The heritage and century-long legacy of the company sets a baseline for their preferences and expectations before they've ever even had a chance of swinging a leg over a different type of bike. A lot of Harley riders have made the choice to become a motorcyclist first and foremost, without the preordained birth to Harley-Davidson pipeline that many Midwestern alpha males seem to be chained to, and still make the choice to become Harley riders despite every other motorcycle that's at their disposal. Now, I'm pretty sure the heritage and legacy of the company likely has something to do with it, but I think a lot of people, a certain middle-aged Caucasian demographic, if you will, choose the Harley-Davidson over every other motorcycle company simply because they identify with the brand. And while Harley's consistent brand image has definitely scared away countless motorcyclists for ever wanting to get 15 feet within a Harley-Davidson dealership, it's solidified the loyalty of multiple generations of freedom-loving, corn-fed Americans. The Harley-Davidson brand represents freedom, rebellion, and individuality, although there seems to be limitations to this freedom and individuality lately, especially in regards to political or lifestyle choices. Harley-Davidson represents the freedom to hang the American flag on your porch without judgment, the freedom to pick up yourselves by your bootstraps and make something of your life the way our ancestors did, and the freedom to put that Punisher sticker on your pickup truck. That's freedom, baby. Not to be confused with the freedom of expression and personal identity, or the freedom to advocate for marginalized members of our society, because that's not freedom, that's leftist propaganda, obviously. And since we're on the topic of freedom, Harley-Davidson is from the USA, baby. USA! USA! These colors do not run, I can tell you that much, brother. You can ride a Honda, but you better not dare tread on my Harley with your rice-burning crotch rocker, they're gonna be trouble! Harley-Davidson, being an American company and producing motorcycles in America, has been a major point of pride for their owners. American-made, quote-unquote, is for some people, especially people of older generations, a very important factor. We of course know a vast majority of the things we own are produced overseas, where manufacturing costs are much lower than they are here in the States. And of course, it sounds like a good thing to want more goods produced in America. You know, bring back those good old manufacturing jobs with their paychecks and their pensions and and their union protections. Or is that anti-Harley? I don't know anymore. The unfortunate truth is that it really isn't realistic in this economic landscape. Everyday products are already getting crazy expensive, and if they were made in America, the cost would be likely exorbitant. So understanding that things are made overseas is just a fact of life nowadays. But when it comes to automotive manufacturers, a lot of older generations are still deeply impassioned about American companies. Whether someone worked for an American car manufacturer or has a family member who does, they see American-made vehicles as an industry that supports the livelihood of many people and their families. There's also the idea that Harley-Davidson motorcycles, partially because they're made in America, are of a higher quality and represent a more premium motorcycle. When, sure, they might have had some pretty expensive paint schemes some of the time, but most motorcycle manufacturers, regardless of where the bikes are produced, are capable of producing very high-quality machines, especially as you move higher up in the ranks. And it's ironic that Harley riders have this dying love for American-made machines when, during the AMF years, the bikes weren't even made in America. And once Harley was back under American ownership in the States, it took decades for the build quality to come anywhere close to the Japanese competition. It's kind of a meme that Harleys leak oil, but really these have been the de facto unreliable bikes in the motorcycling community. And then now, Harley recently announced they would be moving production of all models that use the RevMax platform to Thailand. This includes the Sportster S, Nightster, and the Pan America. This Thailand facility has been producing all Harley-Davidson models sold for sale in other countries, and it's speculated that more production of bikes sold in the States may end up moving to that facility as well. And honestly, I bet you the build quality is gonna go up if anything, but could this be the final straw for Harley enthusiasts and their loyalty? As I mentioned, Harley-Davidsons are often considered to be a premium brand of motorcycle. They have been made in the US, which in and of itself carries some weight for patriotic riders. They have other markings of a premium brand as well, like offering a very specific type of motorcycle that's tailored to a specialized clientele. That's drastically different to Japanese manufacturers that offer all styles of motorcycles across varying displacements and price points with the goal of attracting buyers across ages, experience levels, and riding discipline. Harley-Davidson has notoriously defied this strategy, selling only large displacement bikes at very high price points, something that they're very proud of, in fact. They used to sell the Evo Sportster as their more entry-level machine, and while an 883 Sportster doesn't make much in the way of power, and they still weigh nearly 600 pounds and would cost over $10,000 brand new, which isn't much of an entry point to motorcycling if you ask me. They also tried their hand at the Street 500 and 750 models. These smaller and cheaper bikes that were used as a training platform for the HD rider courses were also sold to new riders looking for an inexpensive entry into the Harley brand. But these bikes didn't offer much for Harley-Davidson's brand strategy, and they quickly went by the wayside. HD likes to maintain the allure of a premium brand in order to continuously sell fewer motorcycles at a higher profit, and many Harley riders see this as an attractive aspect of the brand. A Harley-Davidson can be seen as a status symbol for some, and that puts them in a different class of motorcyclist. They have no interest in the approachable $10,000 Japanese bike, they need the $20,000 Harley-Davidson, so people know that they've made it in life. Owning Harley-Davidson as a status symbol is definitely an important element as to why Harley riders are so loyal. And it's kind of a weird mental gymnastics to be both blue collar, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, but then try to flex on people online because your bike is so expensive and try to make fun of them because they can't afford your bikes. Kinda weird. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you're bound to know that we're partial to rock form handlebar mounts and phone cases around here. I'll always keep a mount on the giveaway bike as well as my personal bike, which always comes in handy if I'm doing a longer ride where I need GPS navigation. Just when I thought Rockform's lineup of motorcycle products couldn't get any better, I'm excited to share with you that they've just recently released a brand new mounting system that maximizes your options for adjustability and convenience. The new Pro Ball mount is the most functional mounting system yet. It uses a universal handlebar mount that's compatible with handlebar diameters from 7/8 all the way to 1.5 inches, includes 5 different spacers to ensure a perfect fit. The double ball joint provides endless options for adjustability, so you can get the perfect viewing angle no matter what your bike setup is like. The Pro Ball mount is made of CNC aircraft grade aluminum with stainless steel hardware, so it's built to stand the test of time no matter how aggressive your riding is. The Rockform Pro Ball mount is an awesome addition to the line of products, so if you haven't gotten a Rockform mount yet or you're looking for an upgrade, click the link in the description and use the code YN25 to receive 25% off your order. That's 25% off using code YN25. thanks so much to Rockform for the continued support on the channel. Now let's get back to the show. And once you've become a successful middle-aged person and you lock down that sweet bagger, you can hang out with all the other middle-aged Harley dads. Harley riders definitely have an incredibly strong sense of community. You got your Skull and Eagle Harley Davidson Daytona Bike Week souvenir t-shirt, you're gonna run into another guy with his American flag V-twin Harley Davidson Chattanooga, Tennessee shirt, and you'll immediately become lifelong friends. Guys, I don't have to tell you, it's not easy making friends as an adult. But if you buy an HD, all those lonely weekends will become a thing of the past because you'll face an endless onslaught of bike nights and biker barbecues you can attend. Jokes aside, Harley Davidson riders seem to have one of the more tight-knit communities when it comes to IRL motorcyclists. If you ride a Yamaha and cross paths with a Suzuki, you might be like, "Hey man, nice bike. Too bad it hasn't been updated in 20 years. And you'll both chuckle and be on your merry way. But when one Harley rider crosses paths with another, they recognize each other as members of the same brotherhood and will ride together, swap crazy Harley guy stories, and take selfies together in the reflection of their shiny chrome farkles, and maybe hang out in the bathroom together. I don't know. Harley Davidson riders really bond with one another as being members of the same motorcycling subculture. Of course, there are motorcycle clubs and stuff that all seem pretty partial to Harley Davidson, but even the most run-of-the-mill suburban Harley rider is quick to embrace the community aspect of the brand too. Unless the people in that community think differently than them about certain things, then they don't want anything to do with them, and they might shoot up their bikes and post about it online and whine. I don't know. Harley riders are fiercely loyal to Harley Davidson due to the customizability of these bikes. HD probably has the biggest selection of aftermarket parts and accessories for their motorcycles than any bike on the planet. A lot of this comes from the early bobber and chopper cultures, which really jump-started the push for different companies to make custom parts and accessories for HD bikes. Following the bobber and chopper eras, Harley Davidson actually implemented some of those styling cues in their flagship bikes like the Softail. They've continuously embraced the aftermarket and encouraged the customizability of their bikes. A lot of riders gravitate towards bikes from Harley Davidson specifically for the ability to customize them and make them wholly their own. There are of course still choppers, bobbers, lavish big wheel bagger show bikes, but even the most low-key, artistic, non-stereotypical Harley guy bike builders still gravitate towards Harleys because of the rich aftermarket, community knowledge, and unmatched potential for a unique, genuine motorcycle. Harleys are even some of the most modified bikes when it comes to performance upgrades, and to be frank, most Harley Davidsons need a couple $1,000 in performance upgrades as soon as they roll off the assembly line in order to run well. But beyond basic modifications, a lot of hardcore bike builders use Harleys as the platform for big muscle cruisers or performance bagger builds. Even on a basic level, most Harley riders love how customizable their bikes are and the different options they have for upgrades and modifications. This aspect of Harley culture even led to some controversy recently as the right to repair class action lawsuit against Harley was dropped, meaning all of the Harley loyalists who got their warranties voided by modifying or maintaining their bikes themselves were left high and dry. Just another aspect of how Harley has been kind of letting down their own fan base lately, but HD riders, they're loyal through and through, baby. And lastly, Harley riders are loyal because their bikes are truly one of a kind. For better or worse, you know? Yeah, they don't make power like a modern sporty bike does. They're very heavy, they handle pretty poorly, and they're super expensive, but what you can't argue is that they're unlike any other bike on the road. Except for that guy that also has a black road glide with the pipes. Or that other guy that has the black Harley with the pipes. And that one too. Oh, does he have a black Harley with pipes? It's a one of a kind though. Their antiquated engine designs lend themselves to a characterful experience that really can't be matched by any other motorcycle. The super long stroke engine that just makes a boatload of torque is mesmerizing for some riders. The grumbly exhaust sound, the flashy look and design of a freshly polished and blasted hog is a sight to be seen. You know, Japanese bikes were undeniably pretty similar for a long time, with each of the big four having their own model competing against similar bikes in the same class, and a bespoke, characterful Italian bike has never been in the cards for these corn-fed American Harley guys. Let's just be honest. Indians might make a lot more power with more modern features, but someone looking for the real old school Harley vibe, a more modern Indian, is just not gonna cut it. And the hard truth, most metric cruisers are in some way modeled after Harley Davidson model, and they may be a lot cheaper and provide a whole lot more value for dollars, but they just don't hit the same. I mean, a Yamaha Bolt, I've ridden one, and they're pretty lame to be honest. A clean example for an Evo Sportster, it's kind of cool in its own way, you know? So despite a lack of innovation and a reliance on outdated ideas, Harley riders just can't stop drinking that orange and black Kool-Aid, unless it involves corporate DEI policies. And that's where they draw the line, apparently. And then that's, nope, can't do that. Can't do that, folks. Fact, Lego bricks withstand compression far better than concrete. Goodbye. Unfortunately for you, this video is now concluded, but fortunately for you, you have caught this video just in time to get entered to win this MT09 SP. Hit the link on yammynoob.co in the description box down below. Become a member. That's the best way to support the show and get entered to win these fantastic giveaway motorcycles. But if you don't think that's cool enough, you'll get access to our Discord server as well too. It's my way of saying thank you to you guys, and I truly do appreciate the support. But click this video right over here and you can keep watching Yammy Noob. And why wouldn't you want to keep watching Yammy Noob? Why? What's stopping you? Huh? Huh? Do I need to come over there?